This is Lightyear, not that. Hi guys, Disney's Villainous Prince at your service, and on today's video we'll be looking at Lightyear, the latest movie from Disney Pixar. So, going ahead, there will be spoilers, shock horror, so if you've not watched this movie yet, aren't you the lucky ones? Now, I've had a few days to actually contemplate my thoughts and opinions about this movie, but here's my initial reactions when I actually walked out of the cinema.
Flashback.
Okay, I've just left the cinema to record my initial reactions from watching Lightyear. I'm not blown away by it. One of my huge gripes was the opening of the movie, where it says, in the year 1995, Andy received a Buzz Lightyear from his favourite movie. This is that movie. So then why isn't the Buzz Lightyear that's in Lightyear the same as the toy that Andy got? It's like his mum shopped at Wish and got him a cheaper version, because the Buzz Lightyear that's in Toy Story is a more plump version with a different voice, whereas this one in Lightyear is a much like lean guy with obviously a different voice, basically the same voice as Captain America. Yes, I forgot his name. What's his name? Oh my god, Chris, you know who I mean. So while I was watching the whole movie, I was like thinking, I don't understand the whole, why did it start off with that? So to talk about my hugest gripe of this movie, I have to do some spoilers. So the whole concept of this movie is, after the first mission goes wrong, after being attacked, Buzz and the rest of the Space Rangers are stranded on this planet as they try and escape, but they crash the ship, so it damages the fuel cell. So they have to then resource all the planet's materials to get brand new fuel to get to hyperspace and then evacuate and go home. So there's only one Space Ranger can do this, and that's Buzz Lightyear. So we advance 1 year, and they've actually got the fuel ready to be tested. So they test it, Buzz gets in the ship, tests it out, it goes wrong, but there is a little bit of a side effect. It advances Buzz 4 years into the future. So every time he lands, he's 4 years into the future. So he tests this out numerous times. So obviously all the characters that we are introduced to do advance 4 years. So obviously things happen. But there is a little star of the show, and that is Socks the cat. Now, Socks the cat gets the right formula for the fuel. Buzz gets the fuel, tries it out, and reaches hyperspace. But it advances him so far in the future that basically he's back. And then Zurg is attacking the planet. So now, to actually get the fuel into the main mothership, I forgot what the mothership was called, but to get into the main mothership, to get all the Space Rangers home, he has to then destroy Zurg's ship. But when we first actually encounter, well, when Zurg and Buzz come face to face for the first time, Zurg wants Buzz to come with him. And you think, why? Because he gets his gun out ready to shoot Buzz, but then actually extends his hand. But obviously, that doesn't happen. You're thinking, what's going on? But later on in the movie, it's actually revealed that Zurg is actually powered by, well, being controlled by someone inside of him, because Zurg opens up and it's revealed it's Buzz Lightyear from 50 years from the future. And you think, what? Why? And so this is Buzz from 50 years in the future with the Buzz from now. And this Buzz from now has actually seen his friends grow up, gain families and all that. And then when the other Buzz wants to try and actually use this new fuel cell to go so far back in time to stop the original space crash so they're not stranded. And our Buzz is then saying, no, it will actually erase everybody's friends and family. The Buzz from the future goes, well, who's so-and-so? Well, hang on, you would know who so-and-so is because you've met them all. And I was like, hang on, that Buzz from the future would know who people are that would basically be erased from time if they go so far back in future and change the past. And I was like, I don't get this. Then there's a huge fight scene, future Buzz, when he gets back into Zurg and starts trying to kill past Buzz. And then you think to yourself, you actually managed to kill Buzz, won't you die as well because you have just basically killed yourself? And I was like, this is why I just don't like these time traveling movies, because there's so many like bits that like this doesn't make sense, and it just doesn't make sense, this whole movie. If it was a standalone movie, it'd be yeah, okay, but when it's actually I just don't know, when it's actually relating to Toy Story, you think it doesn't make sense. And then let's talk about Zurg. Zurg is a lot leaner as well, a lot scarier version. So why in Toy Story 2 did we get like a cartoon version of him, if this is like from the film? So if Andy got this Buzz from the movie, then why is nothing else from the movie in Toy Story 1? So why does Buzz never mention his friends, never mention Socks? He just mentions Star Command, and he's got to go to 7G or whatever it was. He doesn't mention anything. So if this was a toy based on a film, these film references would be mentioned by the toy. Oh, it just doesn't make sense.
End of flashback.
So back in the present day, I've had a few days to actually think about my thoughts and opinions about this movie, and I still agree with my first impressions. This movie does not make sense. Now, if this was a standalone movie and not related to Toy Story in any way, it would be an okay movie. But because of that opening backstory saying that this is Andy's favourite movie and therefore he requested a Buzz Lightyear due to this movie being one of his favourites, it just ruins it for me, I think, because these are two different characters. This Buzz Lightyear in this film, all he's thinking about is completing his mission. He's got no personality whatsoever. He doesn't care about his friends and family. He just wants to complete his mission. Whereas like in the Toy Story franchise, the Buzz Lightyear we get has got a kind of like a good sense of humour. He wants to complete his mission, but he's a bit goofy as well. Whereas this one, in Lightyear, he's not likeable one bit, I think. Now, let's talk about Pixar, because I think they have lost their magic. Because in the past, watching Toy Story movies, I've been a blubbering wreck. How can you not cry at the point when you think the toys are all going to be burnt alive in an incinerator in Toy Story 3? And then in Toy Story 4, I was crying when Buzz and Woody said their goodbyes and went their separate ways. I was a wreck. But in this movie, there is nothing that calls for any kind of emotion like that. Because yes, certain characters do die off, but that's expected. If Buzz Lightyear keeps on going on his mission, and every single time he goes on his mission and goes 4 years into the future, you know for a fact that basically characters are going to die. So it's kind of expected. Now the humour, because when it comes to Disney Pixar, you expect some humour in the movies. I only chuckled a couple of times, and that wasn't related to any of the main characters. If there's any humour coming from the main characters, I must have missed it because I was bored. It's Socks the cat and the autopilot for me that brought the humour. And like I said, though, it was only a couple of chuckles. And while I'm talking about Socks the cat, he is the star of this film. And if I was Andy and I requested a toy from my favourite film, it'd be Socks the cat. If I received this Buzz Lightyear, and received what I received in Toy Story 1, I would have actually turned into Sid.